Hello, everybody. Mr. E here, definitely for the first time, not redoing this take. And today I am joined by a collaborator, Yobi Ryan, and I always knew how to say his name. All you have to do is, it's like a lion with an R. Look at that. I mean, you taught me that. So yeah, Yobi, what's your channel about? Like, I've been stealing off of you for like the better part of 2 weeks now. What's going on over there? People should subscribe, by the way. But why?
Basically, I'm just putting my own opinions. God forbid. I don't know if that's a thing
All right, now we got to
nowadays.
cancel that. All right, shut it down.
I really enjoy the game, and it's the first. Okay, I'm gonna be cancelled for sure. It's the first Tide game for me. I actually got into
That's fair.
Dark Tide by accident. Yeah, I.
Accident. Wait, hold on.
Yeah, yeah.
What
My
accident is
friends
that?
were my friends were vexing me for years to play Vermintide 2 with them, but I never played this kind of game, so I didn't know I'm gonna enjoy them,
Mhm.
and I never listened to them. And then when I bought my new PC in 2022 with my graphics card, I got as a gift Dark Tide, and I was like,
Nice.
let's check this game out.
And in
I just want to see
2022, what a peak game it was. It was just fucked.
exactly.
It probably ran terribly. Yeah, 2022 Dark Tide, pretty rough time to get in, but here we are in the rich old year 2026, and we got to talk about Skitarii today, which we have both been hot on the trail of for like, it feels like a month now, or probably even longer, but we're coming up on it. So today we wanted to sit down, and since both of us are big yappers, he scripts his yaps, guys. Mine are off the cuff. I don't know which one is better in that sense, but we wanted to talk about our opinions, where they agree, where they disagree, kind of go head to head on the abilities, the blitzes, the keystones, the potentially the auras, the weapons, and all that stuff for Skitarii, because I think we have a lot to pull from at this point. Presumably this week will be when the actual, like, some of the talent tree stuff comes out. TBD, what they've been doing for the last couple updates is what I've seen is they've been not releasing the full talent tree, but they've just been showing, hey, here's a sample of the talents you can expect, which would be a little bit lackluster, but we'll take anything we can get at this point. And just so you know, he's not in the creator program, and even if like even if you were in the creator program right now, no one has early access yet. It's not available to the media build, so only playtesters are able to actually know this stuff. So we are actually truly speculating here just based on what we got. So we'll see how accurate we can be. And I believe we agreed to wager, I don't know, what did you say, like $2,000 or so?
Wait, is that a new data mine? The fork? Is it
Oh,
Transonic
oh
fork?
yeah.
What is
Sorry,
that?
I didn't realize it on the screen. So yeah, this is I brought this. This is a leak. So yeah, if you actually go in here and freeze frame in the recent trailer, you have to freeze frame it like with a very specific program. It's called Photoshop, and
Blink and you miss it.
there'll be a fork in the hand. So I think this is like some sort of secret from the developers, and like stream watchers know that we have a call to action, guys. So this is what my push is: as many of you that see this video as possible, on when you make your Skitarii, when you make your skitty, name it Fork. I don't care how you spell it. It could be 4K. It could be 4-RK, because we have it confirmed that you can use numbers in your letter, or in your name, in your letters. Regular fork, capitalized or not, just make it Fork in some vein. I think this is accomplishing a very great and noble thing for the community. I can't exactly quantify what that is, but it will be funny. So there's that. And with that being said, let's get on to something material here. So as I said today, we're going to be talking about the Skitarii overall, everything we know about it so far, conjecturing, speculating. A lot of this is pretty well nailed down, but there's like some fine points we'll kind of hammer out. I think you had some good ideas. I want to put them up against my ideas, and then you guys can sound off in the comments and let us know, like, maybe you think that one of us is crazy or both of us are way off base, and we'll see. So yeah, this is the opening store page. Now this store page, this store page is actually something that we have seen a very, very long time ago. There was a leak that came from a Ukrainian localization, and that Ukrainian localization was something we both covered on our channels independently, and that ended up being legitimate. Both of us called it was legitimate. You called it was legitimate because you actually had someone like look into and like download the source code, as I understand. And I was like, this just like looks like Fat Shark's writing. Like I've been around them long
Yeah.
enough to be like, okay. So thankfully it was indeed Skitarii. And so this is what we're going to talk about today. We're going to first hit, where's my highlight key? Who knows? I'm just going to circle stuff because that's what I know how to do. This is my competence level, guys. So we're going to start with talking about the main archetypes we have here. Okay, let's select the layer. Stop. Okay. We have the main archetypes here. The ruthless long-range assassin with deadly aim, a frenzied servant of the Omnissiah, carving through flesh with a transonic blade, and the walking storm of electricity. So those are, I mean, I think they're pretty clearly the archetypes. So we have very helpfully put together by, I don't know who made this, but a YouTuber, I think, made this preemptive layout. I saw people, by the way, look at this as a side thing. I saw people on the official Discord being like, wait, did someone leak this? How does he have this?
Oh, really?
I was like, I mean, if you just watched his video for 5 seconds, he tells you how he has it. It's through his blood, sweat, and tears. Oh, look, you fixed the thing. I mentioned this in my video.
Yeah,
You fixed that. I was like, these weren't connected, and you could see they were connected to the thing.
Right.
Nice. All right.
So I stole from you too.
Collaborative power. Yeah, that's right. So actually, Mystery made this technically. So yeah, this is Yobi's work here. Very well done. Definitely something I've gone back to a number of times because, like, yeah, parsing it from the little glimpses they show in there is kind of a pain. So I think that let's start with just talking about some abilities, as you mentioned in your videos, and I think I neglected to mention in mine. They do have some icons that you can see in the trailer. One of them that they point out here is that this ability has the spy with his creepy grin face on in the middle of it. And this one down here has an augment that has the venting shriek icon. And so that's like pretty much all we have to go on other than just kind of like general positioning. There's also the talk about the sonic keystones over here. Yeah, it's like the little sonic beam. So potentially this is something with going fast or speed. Now, we are pulling, when we're talking about these, we're pulling from another little bit of information. Where is it? I've misplaced it. It's somewhere here. There it is. Okay. So this is our little piece of information we'll be bringing in here. I feel like I'm flashbanging people with this all-white screen. But we got this thanks to T-Dops. Shout out T-Dops. Guys, go download Party Gibbs. It's a great mod. Definitely won't crash your frame rates. This has some keystones specified here. So it has Overload Keystone, Power Generation Keystone, and Dissector Keystone. So that's what we're working with for keystones. And then we can kind of figure out like what's going on in association with that. So let's start out with our abilities. So what do we think about Mr. Spy ability up here? What is this going to be?
Okay, so just for the purpose of this video, I'm gonna crank up the speculationometer. I don't know if we can make a word out of it, you know.
Yeah,
speculation
levels are going, yeah, the roof. It's fine.
I'm not gonna try to be right. I'm just gonna try to, you know.
I'm gonna try to be right because I want that $2,000 that we agreed on. So.
Okay, yeah, I want to be right, obviously, but
make it interesting at least. Yeah, like what's the most like
come
crazy
up with
thing
something creative.
Yeah.
Initially, I thought because you know how the spy plays, he disguises as other people, and then the whole point of the gameplay of playing a spy is to go behind the enemies and stab them, and it's an insta kill. So I thought, okay, what kind of 40k version we have of this? And that's the Skitarian infiltrator, maybe.
Right.
So yeah, so I went with that. It's now in my video I speculated that the main ability is something like sensory saturation, that basically a psychic and what else they say in the lore?
Yeah, it's like a auditory. Yeah, it's like a sense disruptor. So it's kind of, as I understand, it's kind of like pseudo stealth. It's not really stealth, but like you're in. It's inverse stealth where you're making it so that enemies can't even perceive anything because they're just like blacking out, standing around.
Yes, you're not actually invisible, but the sensors are so overloaded that they cannot perceive you, they cannot see you.
Now,
And that's what I went with. And
mhm,
I thought that because obviously we have a leak about the cord claw ability, I thought the cord claw was gonna be an augment of this main ability.
that could be
But
interesting.
but it
Okay.
makes sense to be the other way around as well.
Or
But I'm gonna stick with my initial speculation.
okay, so cord claw is an augment, and here I'll grab that picture while we're talking about it off this. So if you're interested in seeing what we're talking about here, guys, it's on the Fat Shark YouTube channel. Occasionally, and I wish they'd make a better use of this. Occasionally, they will just post pretty low resolution photos of their uh, of some stuff on their YouTube page. And so this is just in their post section. Let me make certain I can actually copy the image, and then we will paste. There it is. Okay, so there's our cord claw that they showed. So there's definitely a cord claw coming, and they confirmed this is an ability. So this is something to do with an ability. I agree, for my part, that it is going to be up here. I think this is definitely going to be where it goes. The reason I think this too, it has to do with this node right here. I think that of all the abilities, right? We'll talk about this in a second, but this is the capacitance. This is the extra charges, basically like extra juice to the abilities. Of all the abilities that we have in the game, there's another charge in the game that has two juices to it. It makes sense you'd want to have extra for an ability like this where you're getting in there and getting in melee, because if it fails, you're in big trouble, right? You need some extra juice to get out.
Mm.
So I feel like that's kind of baked into it. My thought here is, and mine is probably a little more boring, but I'm going to stick with my guns. When I was talking about this a couple weeks ago, maybe even just a week ago at this point, I got sort of like out over my skis and I said, hey, listen, when they're talking it right here, saying carving through flesh with a transonic blade, this doesn't say a transonic razor or a transonic sword or whatever it is. Like, it
Or
says
a fork.
transonic blade, and it's not capitalized. I was like, they'd be silly not to include the only other thing on the transonic weapons arsenal, which is very much Sicarian themed, the cord claw. And so I was like, well, it's not in the files. They're not having it, or it wasn't yet, but they're not having it in the deluxe set. So what if it's a Grail Knight ability? And so I think you told me you've never played Vermintide 2, but you know what I'm talking about because I saw you data
Yeah.
mine it. If you are unaware, viewer, Grail Knight is a career in Vermintide 2. It's Kruber. He's got a magic sword he can pull out of, I don't know, his ass or whatever, and then he just overheads enemies with it. And it's super, super powerful, but it just materializes out of thin air. It's magic. It's like holy light. And so I was like, this is going to be the same thing, where this just like gets equipped just for the attack. I don't exactly know how that's going to work. Like, does this claw, that would be a question. Like, how does this claw work? Because like, you clearly aren't going to have this on your
Uh,
hand when you're like
it's like Wolverine
wielding a
claw, I
weapon.
guess.
So does your hand like transform into this? That would be pretty
Yeah,
cool
yeah, I guess
animation.
so. Yeah, I guess so.
Like, that'd be pretty cool animation
You
wise
can
if you just
hold
like.
your weapon and maybe, yeah.
It'd also be kind of
That's
cool
my
if it's on your
best.
gun. But yeah, I just don't know how you pull the trigger with a cord claw on there. But yeah, that's maybe you swap it on the fly, whatever it is. But I was thinking that yeah, you have this cord claw. I'm guessing it's probably not another like targeted charge, like a straight line charge like we have like 15 of in the game already, but it's probably more like a big steroid, like movement speed stuff, like a big boost forward where you're just running, and then at the end you've got one slash you can do. And this is like kind of like, in either way there's something to do with the cord claw and killing, because where was it? We have our other thing over here. This is one that I ripped from you as well, or actually T-Dops. Cord Claws kill combo right here. So this is one we both pinged on. Cord Claws kills combo. So there's something to do with like chaining the Cord Claws here. So that's what makes me think this is an ability where we're going to be like pinballing all over the place. So you'll like charge, you'll run into the enemies, you'll do a slash, you'll kill a guy, you'll get a reset, you'll go over here. You'll be like a, what's that? You ever play Dead by Daylight? There's a like
Yeah.
Blight, Blight who just like pinballs off people. He hits somebody, he gets a reset, he goes again, like just pinballing
Yeah.
around and killing guys. That would be a ton of fun. So that is what I'm hoping this is. Any thoughts on what like
What
augments we might be? Oh yeah, you got a
Uh,
question?
yeah, what if the ability actually disables your primary weapon? So instead of just
Oh
pulling out the
god.
close one,
Like, so
yeah,
if you
and then
spec in this ability, you're a melee only character,
no, you're not your secondary, your primary
or it
weapon.
replaces
Maybe,
your melee.
yeah, it could be
Oh,
when you use the ability, you cannot use your melee weapon, but you have the claw out.
that is
Could be like that.
that is really interesting. That could
Yeah,
potentially, yeah. That I mean, that might work. Yeah, that's the thing that it has me like. That's the only thing that has me stumped about this is like this hand is so like not this hand, right? It's just how do you transform that, and how would you transform that on the fly when
yeah.
you were just meleeing literally a second ago? You have to pop out an ability in like the blink of an eye. Maybe that literally is it, and maybe this is something to do because we. I think that this is something we probably both touched on. We both fundamentally, I think, believe that this class is going to be about augmenting your character, that it will change your
Mm,
character in some way as you take these abilities. So there's a
yes.
potential that like this is an augment for the class that they haven't shown, where when you take this ability, and this is why it's out here, if you take this ability, it fundamentally changes the character. Like you just can't do certain stuff, but you get this really big power on the side. That's a really, really cool idea. I'm gonna give that one
Yes,
to.
it actually makes a lot of sense because people were expecting the augmentation part of the character to be something like a different tab, like a Steam Lab
Yeah.
Hivescam has. But we know for sure from the streams there's no tab like a
Yeah,
Steam Lab
that's what I was
mechanic,
looking
you know?
for. You paused it as well. I was scanning up there,
Yeah,
like, is there a lab? But then when they were talking about that power thing, I think it's this, but
yeah,
modifying your core abilities and modifying, like, it would make sense with the whole, like, Skitarii thing, like, modifying the basic functions of your kit. You can just replace your arms with different stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if there isn't something that is augmented or changed when you take on the ability to this. I believe we're both going to talk about is like the smart sniping sort of ability. Um, yeah, that's actually like really that actually has me excited thinking about that the potential of like having a class because yeah, if this is like a full replacement for your melee, that could be very exciting. So there, that's pretty cool. All right, so Cord Claw, and then I don't know why I can't select my text here. Uh, we'll figure it out. So anyway, that's what we think. I don't think we have any insights onto what could potentially be an alternate keystone for it, but I'm guessing stuff like longer charge distance, or
mm,
perhaps the claw has additional built-in rending. It probably has like crazy rending already though. Maybe backstab
yeah,
damage, maybe backstab. But yeah, it's got
yeah.
the spy in it, so you're probably right in some sense that it is.
Insta kill.
Right, it's going to be able
On
to insta kill. It probably does get like a stealth bonus. So there, I highly doubt, and this is just me talking from like, if I were designing the game, I wouldn't add any more stealth to the game, like actual stealth, because it fucks with like the enemy AI just doesn't like it. It just doesn't really work because the enemies are like, they just all walk away and they just go about their own
yeah.
thing, and it dumps it all on your team. So if I were doing
Don't
that, I would like stun them or like make it so they're incapacitated for a second, just so you get the flank on them, right?
Yes, don't throw any stones on me, but I actually would like the current invisibility abilities to change a bit. I
Mhm.
don't really like invisibility the way it's played in the
It yeah, it just
on the
genuinely
game
doesn't
right now.
mesh with like the combat where it throws off the basic of like, oh yeah, these enemies are attacking you, and now everybody just suddenly forgot you were even there and they're wandering away. Which is a thing
Yeah,
that like I've seen other games deal with. Like Warframe has dealt with that, where they instead made it so that enemies can only detect you like every other second they update, and they kind of still try to get to where you are and attack
yeah,
in your general direction. So they could be doing something
yeah,
like that where it's not like full stealth where the enemies can't detect you. Uh,
yeah. I think the main idea is that probably enemies nearby cannot sense you, uh, and to keep this effect, you need to keep killing things. You cannot one shot a boss with a cord claw, but maybe you can one shot an elite, and maybe
yeah,
one of the augments helps you refresh the sensory saturation effect, or maybe allows you to refresh it by um, killing other type of elites or specials or ogrins, or I don't know,
Yeah, I think
something
I
to
do think
give
we're
you
on the same page
options.
there. I believe it'll be reset on a like an elite kill. Elite kill sounds right for this sort of ability. Okay, well there's our one, and that's probably the only one we're gonna have like a picture for depicting. Let's go on to this next ability down here. This one in this bottom right corner. I don't know what made me come to this conclusion, but I think you also came to the conclusion. I think because of
Mm.
this icon over here, which we'll get to.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, this one, I think we both kind of agree this is going to be our ranged ability. Now, just so everyone knows what we're building off of here, this was in that very initial Ukrainian data mine thing, and this is literally has to be the definition of the ability. The reason I think this is here, by the way, is this is the base ability for the class. You know how when you start out, you don't have like an ability. There's just one that's kind of granted to you. This is like the crap version, and then the other one will be upgraded in some way. But swap to your secondary weapon, which your range weapon. Your weapon locks on enemies close to your targeting reticle, granting you inhuman accuracy. You gain a spread reduction and recoil reduction for the duration. While it's active, you drain a certain amount of capacitance per second and an additional amount of capacitance per shot. The ability is disabled if you switch from your secondary weapon, if you reach 0 capacitance and 0 charges, ability charges, or if you reactivate it. If this ability is used at 2 charges or above, gain a certain amount of range cleave and critical strike chance. So all that together, it means that this ability has multiple charges just by, maybe by default, maybe it's something you can take more charges of, and then it's got some interaction with capacitance, which, yeah, give me your thoughts on this. Like how mechanically, what are we looking at?
Basically, that's part of what we're going to discuss later as well about how power works. But basically, I kind of think I'm kind of getting from this class that you're not locked by time anymore. You know, every class we had so far, to use an ability, you need to wait X seconds, and then you need another talent that helps you refresh that ability faster. I think this is not how Skitarii is going to work. I think Skitarii is going to be a constant struggle between generating power and spending power, and there's going to be no fixed cooldowns. So this opinion is kind of reinforced by this text because it never really tells you that there is an X amount of time. You know, usually it says it stays active for X seconds.
Yeah.
Whatever ability we've seen
Yeah, it
so
says
far.
for the next 8 seconds, you will be able to do
Yes.
this, right? Yeah.
But here it's like you have charges, you're good to go. You don't have charges, it's over.
It's over. Yeah.
You know, so that's what is reinforcing my this kind of opinion that I have about the class, and I actually think this how it's going to work is there's not going to be any cooldown. There's only going to be a resource management, and the rest is I mean what you read. I don't have to.
Yeah, there's no too much. So what I think is that this ability is just like you said. It doesn't have a timer. The timer is based on your allocation of the power cores. So you are going to build capacitance, and it drains your capacitance per shot. So it's just like how if you're playing for Deadshot Veteran, if you stack a bunch of stamina curios, you can stand there all day shooting. If you stack a bunch of capacitance, you can use this ability for a very, very long time. And when it runs out, it drains, it takes 1 charge, right? So you have 3, I think that you're going to have default 3 charges here, because when they were showing that gameplay footage with like Victor Magnuson shooting, he had 3 charges and he was in the default archetype. And I don't think that when they're testing that stuff, when they're showing that stuff, I don't think they ever allocate any talent points. I think that's the default set. That's probably what you're going to start the game looking like. So I think there's going to be 3 charges, and that when you run out of capacitance, it takes a charge. So you've got like your 3 battery meters. I'm not selecting a layer again, but you get like your 3 battery meters that will like deplete over time. So that one will go down, and then it'll make that one go down, and then that one will go down, and then that's when it'll finally end, and you'll have to build back up over time. And there'll probably be ways to generate more capacitance, more battery by like getting kills and stuff. So yeah, I think we're on the same page here. This one's pretty cut and dry, which hopefully it is, because this is the one they've been the least like secretive about. It's a default class. So yeah, we've got like capacitance is your ability duration. Wow, I can't spell anything. And there's multiple charges. And that's it. That's it. This is a basic sniper class. Now, if you were thinking like, okay, this one modifies your class and you have a cord claw, what would this one do? What do you get down here? You got any ideas? This is like genuinely a new thought to me. If this actually changes your class, what would you get? Like if you upgrade to do this, like do you get like a big monocle like sniper lens on here?
Honestly, they gave so much in that description that it kind of shut down my imagination about this
I know, but I
ability.
haven't thought about this one too much because of that. That's I'm wondering. Maybe we can circle back to it because I actually have an idea for the third ability with that because that brings me back to something I forgot about from a long time ago. So let's go on to the third ability. This one is, as we were going back, so we've done this. This was the one we just talked about, ruthless long range assassin with deadly aim. Then the top one was servant on a side, carving through flesh with a transonic blade, or a walking storm of living electricity. So I think I heard your takes on this, but I won't step on your toes. What was your thought on what this ability is going to end up being?
I would say it's probably something like a refraction field. Refraction field is like actually someone corrected me about this, but I'm gonna use what I read on the wiki because
Sure.
they told me it's the other way around. The way I understand this, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, I'm not gonna die on that hill. Refraction field is the Mechanicus special version of conversion field, which is basically a personal shield, let's say.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna be shared with other people. I think it's gonna be like an extra shield that makes you more tanky in a way.
Okay.
But instead of just being a full-time tank, they have to make it more like a tank support ability. So it's gonna give you some benefits with damage reduction maybe, or extra toughness,
Yeah.
or
It probably like generates more toughness over time because it's like energy shield, right? That makes sense to me.
yeah.
Something like that.
And then I think based on the venting streak, and also someone told me, in previous alpha versions, they used to always use this
Yeah.
as a placeholder.
As a base icon.
So, yeah, but then I thought, okay, maybe, but in this version,
They're
using this.
choosing icons. They're literally putting memes in those icons up there. So they chose to make this one. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you check the placeholders for everything, you just have this.
Yeah.
This circle
logos,
with
yeah.
just a different color, green, blue, whatever, purple and red. And they only put a couple of placeholders, and I think that's on purpose. I don't think it's random. So vending streak, what does vending streak does? It's kind of makes me think of a discharge. And then I came up with a living bomb idea from Vermintide 2, Sienna Unchained. So I think they're borrowing concepts from Vermintide 2 since they already doing it, I guess, with Kruger, with Marcus.
Right.
So I guess it all makes sense.
That makes sense.
And then you probably have the shield and discharge. It's like, okay, I'm not taking damage. So what's my ability? Is useless now because I'm actually not threatened immediately by the enemies in front of me. Can I convert this shield into actual damage output?
That's actually a really good idea.
And I think they actually took this from the feedback people gave about the Zealot ability.
Oh, okay.
The book.
Horse?
Because
many
it's boring. Because many people
there's
said,
no like counterplay, there's no strategy to it. It's just walk around and nothing does anything.
I just sit there and raise my hand with a relic and nothing happens. Yeah, and then they said, okay, make burn damage, make it burn enemies around me. People were saying things like that.
People were saying that, yeah, it's true.
Yeah, maybe we cannot do this with Zealot, but what if we do this with the new class?
Skitarii. Cool. I mean, yeah, I think there's something there. That actually is a really good idea. So I don't know what this makes me think of. Comment down below if you know what the heck I'm talking about. There is some character in some game that I have played that they activate oh wait, I know who it is. It's fucking like Zarya from Overwatch. She activates a personal shield. She can put it on an ally or put it on herself, and if enemies attack that shield for the brief time it's like has duration, she gets a massive surge in power, and then she can do like way more damage after the fact. So if this is like the venting thing, what if you have like a damage absorbed meter where like you're absorbing a percentage, and then you can you build it up as like, so if if you have this ability activated, you are encouraged to like walk into the line of fire, take in a bunch of damage, and then just like blow it out on
Wow.
everybody nearby. And that would be pretty cool. I mean, I'm not saying that's what
Oh
it
yeah.
is. Like that's not gonna. That's I think it's more similar to your idea because you're going with a shield thing here. Because I think
I
that you're
really like your
pulling.
idea though.
It's a cool idea. I mean, it's just Zarya, but yeah, like this is. I think that you're going off of uh, where was it? The shield thing. It's here somewhere. Force field range attacks protection. As I heard you talk about that in your video. So yeah, this is one of the penances. There's obviously you can protect from range attacks somehow with a force field. There's a force field somewhere in this character. Somewhere. I think it's on the servo drone. You think it might be with this, right?
Yeah.
So I think you're like, if it's something to do with a force field here, you're onto something. I think that this is. I just have a simpler idea, which is just that because they say it's a walking storm of living electricity. I just think this is like an AOE, like electrified aura, where you're gonna walk around. Because this is a thing that I've been saying for a while about the Arbites. He's got that Nuncio Quila that should just follow him. Okay, Fat Shark, just make that stupid little speaker box follow him so that it doesn't just become useless instantly. You bring the debuffs to the enemies. So this is going to encourage you to walk into the fray, to get in there amongst this. So it's instead of having it be chorus, where you're just literally everybody's just standing around having a disco, you activate this ability and it's going to stun enemies that are nearby every X number of seconds. And it's going to pick like a number of enemies to shock and stun them, because there's already mechanics like this in the Mortis Trials. There's like the Voltaic set has like shock the nearest enemy every 2 seconds. So if it's just an AoE electrify, stunning, X number of enemies per second, something like that, then we're gonna have a reason for you to be in there fighting. And just like with this ability over here, just like with all these abilities, the duration of the ability is not a timed thing. It's going to be based on your capacitance. So what do you do when you have this ability and it's like, okay, this fight has a couple of elites left in it, but I've still got 15 seconds worth of battery here. Oh, I could have this augment that allows me to just blow out the remainder of the battery, just shoot the rest of the capacitance out all at one time, and just nuke my charges. Or but you just go into a fray and immediately just boom boom and just detonate as it's still a living bomb, right? But yeah, like capacitant dump capacitors. There's some sort of thing there with event. So something like that. I think we're pretty on the same page. I really like the idea that because this idea went into like the refractor shield thing. Because living bomb, I guess living bomb is just you just put it on yourself, but I really like that idea of like actually intentionally taking damage, having a mechanic on a class, because they've tried for so long in Darktide to make quote unquote tanking a thing, but you're never supposed to take damage. There's no class in the game where you are encouraged to actually take hits, because it's always bad to lose HP. But what if this character can't lose HP while this is active, and you're actually like for once are supposed to just like come at me, bro. Yeah,
Leroy
just and then get everything to aggro on you. They probably won't do another taunt because that's broken, but that sounds really cool. I would be hyped to play that. So there's an idea for your next character, Fat Shark. Do Zarya. Just copy like Overwatch characters, but make a better game than Overwatch 2. Okay,
Maybe they're copying Diablo characters, because I saw that Diablo game pack sitting there behind.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, the
my...
Diablo 3. Oh man, that was a hint the whole time. And I know for certain in Diablo 3 there is like self-detonation stuff on the sorcerer, isn't there? Oh god, we got to dive into that. We got to do a whole video on like Diablo 3 abilities and which ones are getting ported. Oh, why is he playing that game? That game is not great and it's forever old. Anyway, so that's our predictions for abilities, guys. Sound off down below. Now I understand that we took fucking forever to do that. Let's briefly touch on some stuff about the servo drones, because the servo drones, I think, do we both agree that the servo drones are just the blitzes? Like, there's no independent of that. I saw you ask that at the end of your video. I think that the 3 blitzes we have, I think these are all servo drones.
Yeah, I agree. I think we always get a default blitz,
yes,
and then you have to replace it. So if they gave us the ability to replace a servo skull, then you're a Skitarii without a servo skull. It kind of
Yeah,
doesn't make any sense, right? I mean,
that's
that's
right.
the whole point of the class. So all
Although
the blitz are gonna
although
be.
people were pointing out that in the trailer that was featured yesterday, they didn't have servo skulls.
Hmm,
Like in the
that's
gameplay
interesting. Yeah.
that was shown. So for the viewing audience, I mean, we've got the I'm showing the Skitarii walking out, but then we have all these pictures of the Skitarii standing around side by side, and in none of these there's no servo skull featured. I thought the servo skull would just be kind of hanging out, like, you know, hanging out above, but maybe it's just like you just deploy it and it goes out and then it comes back, and that way there's like one less thing to draw in the environment, so it's not super busy with these things like hovering around all the time. I don't know. I just kind of assumed it would follow you around, like, you know, that one mod that exists that has the servo skull that like is a little buddy that follows you. I thought it would just do like
Oh
that.
yeah.
So maybe it is just
Servo
like a
fan.
cast, or maybe there is like no default servo skull. But if there was, what do you think the default servo skull is?
The default is obviously the last pistol.
Okay, yeah, I'm thinking,
Yeah.
yeah, because right here, so this is where we're pulling from. We got a couple of things with the servo skull here. Adaptable las pistol wielding servo skull. It not only engages enemy targets, but can be instructed to execute enemy data interrogation protocols. Further upgrades to the blitz ability unlocked additional servo skulls, each fitted with essential. Okay, so this is a fundamental question I know a lot of people want to know. Are we going to be able to have more than one skull at a time, do you think?
I don't know. I went with no because I feel it would break the balance of the game. Like, imagine if you have a Medicae servo skull and then you on top of that you have one that deals damage.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think that you would be able to mix and match, but do you think that like maybe you can get like multiple gun servo skulls if you're going for that? Like maybe there's one of I think there's a potential there that like probably just for the offensive archetype where you have like shooty servo skulls that you could have like two or something like that. That'd be kind of cool. But I just don't know. I don't know how you control multiple either. You definitely wouldn't be able to control them if there was different types. That was the
Yeah.
additional thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, further upgrades to the
I'd
blitz
say
ability.
one.
I think this is probably just one. This is very tempting, like verbally, additional servo skulls. But I think that the thing we have to really pull from is this little blurb they put out, because these are more or less just exactly telling you what you're getting. So we get these constructs that have specific tools to aid their masters. Being able to access them independently, they can be ordered to protect targets, engage enemy combatants, or perform Medicae. So that's what I think. What do you think that these blitzes are? Do you have any idea where they're going to be? Which one's going to be which?
Yeah, I guess the top right one is gonna be the hiking one, because I'm thinking like it's an Sicarian infiltrator slash Rastalker, so kinda makes sense to put it there. You know, the hiking thing and being stealthy and stuff like that. Then the support one is obviously gonna be at the left side with all the support abilities and keystones. The living storm of the walking storm of living
The support one, what can it what can this the Medicae. Okay, so this is Medicae?
Yeah,
Medicae.
I think that's the Medicae.
Drone?
So the other one is the range one with a flamethrower.
Okay.
At the bottom right.
Alright, so
For
this
the
one is
ranger.
our attack drone. Okay, so any special, like, can they do anything else? I've got ideas. You got ideas? What can the hacking? So, like, my thought is here. Let me put what I've got out here. I'm also thinking about this at the same time, because I talked about this earlier. You think this is to do with the class? I think this is one of the drones. I think that the drones are this, quite obviously. I also think it's this and this. I think that we have a hacking drone. I talked about this in my video. I think that the hacking drone here, if you think about it, like, how useful, like, obviously the gun drone is useful all game. It's going to be killed and stuff, right? And that's going to provide a ton of value. But on some missions you don't hack. That would be useless. But what if you can, like, Sombra? What if they're just stealing everything from Overwatch here? You can just Sombra and hack ranged elites. You can hack ranged enemies and disable their guns with this. So that would be the perfect thing for the servo skull to do. So your hacking skull not only has the ability to hack, but it can AoE hack an area and stop them from being able to shoot, which would be a
Oh
super
yeah.
cool grenade, like jam 'em up.
Please hack the Reapers. Please
Yeah,
hack the
hack the
Reapers.
Reapers. But of course, in Havoc, they'll have the little tentacle on their head, and that somehow makes their guns unhackable, so they'll still murder you instantaneously. And then for force field range attack protection, I think that the same thing goes for our friend over here. I keep tabbing the wrong thing. I think the same thing goes for the Medicaid drone over here. I think that the Medicaid drone, of course, if nobody gets downed and you have a very competent team who's like, not needing to revive anybody, this drone just sits there. It doesn't never need to pick anybody up. But what if it can also be the thing that casts the shield? So you've got a drone, because I think that at some point here, where does it say? Protect targets. It can be ordered to protect targets. I think that you point your drone. I think you can point your drone to either you can cast it on yourself, or you can point your drone to an ally, and it will go and put a protection shield around them for an amount of time. And that would be really, really cool, because that would be something kind of similar to what, again, another thing from Vermintide 2, which I don't know if you guys know this, but Fat Shark also made that game. This this is something that the Warrior Priest can do. He can cast his magic to a target, and for the next 3 seconds, they are immune to damage. But at the same time, that ability also, any damage that was done to them in the previous 3 seconds is undone, including getting knocked down. Which, so Medicaid, do you think that can heal, like actually like put health back on people, or can it just pick people up? Because I've seen
I
some
think
people.
I think that's too OP to heal people.
I think so
I have
too.
2 versions in my head. Either in my mind, either they help you pick up someone if he goes down, or you can. That's something that could be a thing. You can absorb 1 Medicaid charge.
Oh, and keep
then
it?
use it. Yeah, and then use it on someone, but as a lesser version. Okay, not fully healed, just 1 wound.
Oh, okay. I'm adding that for you. That's a good prediction. That's an actual testable prediction. That's an awesome idea. Yeah. So like, oh, what if it can't like deliver stems? Can it deliver stems? Like deliver stems, or
Yeah, that would be crazy actually.
Or
Instead
like
of
like
how
store
many
Medicaid.
times?
Yeah, how many times do you want to use it? And like, you can't chase that motherfucker down. They're like running just as fast as you are.
You're
Come
trying
over
to
here.
heal the hive scum of the team, and he's like dodging, and
yeah.
Like, come on, stand still for a
Hold
second.
Still, I swear to God, this is gonna hurt you more than it's gonna hurt me. You're just brandishing a needle, a magic, a huge hypodermic needle at him. Yeah, yeah. I think that is an idea that I had before, but I'll credit you with the idea of storing the Medicaid. That's actually quite brilliant, because like, if this is the class, I mean, the Medicaid, you think about it, right? The balance of the game is around. We can only give out so much health to the players, because we need to take that health to the players to like make them like lose. So if you can't go back and get the health, that the health was still there for you to take. If this class is the one that can like keep a little bit of it in their pocket, like they can basically make an extra green stem out of it, that would be pretty sick. That would be a very useful thing here. Yeah. So I'm gonna put up here with the hacking drone that we have some the enemy disruption thing, and I think that's any thoughts about the gunner drone? I think that's probably the least interesting one to me.
The flamer one?
Yeah, it's because of course it has the las pistol defaults, but also in the trailer they show, like, I think it must be like a bolter, or like a bolt pistol, because like it shoots the bulwark and it's definitely not a laser. It's like thumping his shield and stuff.
Really? Yeah. That's it's not. Is it a bolt pistol? Because it has some blue flash.
Oh, is it in the trailer? Okay, I thought it was.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just sparks or yellow. Okay, so maybe it's just like a fat laser. And then the other, what was the other thing?
Maybe the flame one could have a different path, like an augment, a blitz augment, that instead of, I mean, the flamethrower is gonna be very short range, because the drone can go itself where it needs to go, so it doesn't have to be long range flamethrower. But what if instead of just being a flamethrower, you can modify to drop a fire grenade? That would be hilarious.
Yeah, I think that's, I mean,
go
I
over
think
there and drop a grenade.
Drop bombs or something like that. Like,
Probably
that's
not
actually
gonna
kind of
happen,
like
but yeah.
I thought that something like that would be kind of cool if that thing could be used as like a delivery system, like a little bomb dropping drone. Yeah, like that sort of thing. I forget what else there was about that attack drone that I was curious about. I don't know. Maybe it'll come back up at some point. But yeah, I mean, we've got all three things there: engaging enemy combatants, protecting the targets, perform metacay, and of course, like they can hack. I guess you'll probably have to spec into hacking instead of that, and then like the default drone. TBD whether or not the drones just kind of hang out all the time, or whether you have to cast them out. Because it is notable, right, that like you do have a default like blitz when you start the game. It's just a crappy version, so maybe it can just shoot a couple of las pistol shots and that's it on a cooldown. But they'll all be, I would assume they're all going to be cooldown based, right? Is that kind of our assumption here?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess the blitz is the only thing that is on cooldown instead of capacitance.
Yeah, I think this class is probably going to be, but that's so weird because like we then have this like, the grenades in the game. I'm tempted to think, you know what? I actually that kind of makes me think you might be right about like the bombs or something like that. That like picking up charges will enable like a more powerful weapon that you can direct to use, like a bomb or like a rocket or something like that. But you need the charges for it, because otherwise this is a character that doesn't use grenades again, just like the Psyker, and we already have like these grenades where pretty much everybody's just giving them to high scum because no one wants those things.
Okay, hear me out. What if one of the versions picks up steams, the other version picks up grenades, and the last version picks up ammo?
Okay, like so the hacking one like can like be a resource collector. Will be
maybe the hacking
one
can pick up. I don't know. Could
He's
pick
like
up and drop bombs.
Okay, Yobi is Yobi says this is a pilferer drone or like something like that. And pilfer or
I don't know. And the Medicae can pick up steams and use them on people. And the flame one, because it actually uses ammo.
It might actually it might actually need the
might actually need to
flamethrower.
pick up ammo to recharge it.
Yeah, is ammo. It's
ammo consuming.
Okay, yeah, it takes ammo. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's something like that, because then you'd have like a default gun. Because if like these ones don't do combat at all, like if we have a default that doesn't do anything, or it does the las pistol that's like on cooldown, this one would be on cooldown for the las pistol, but also like it's gonna do bigger shots. But then you're gonna need some juice. This one is just when you need it. Yeah, okay. I'm pretty satisfied with that. Let's see. I think let's last here talk about these the power nodes. What are you thinking this is going to change about the abilities?
I think that's the unique class resource system, and that's basically creating. I call it an engine, right? You're an engine. You're a half machine, half human. And how this engine works, you need to attack things, or maybe you generate some over time, but mostly generate power by attacking enemies. When you attack enemies, you generate power and you store it. So you need these nodes to store the energy. And then you use the energy to activate abilities.
Mm-hmm.
So the energy goes exclusively to abilities. And then when you use the abilities, the usage of the power is what generates the keystone stacks. So the buffs that you get, usually for all classes, the keystones gives you like some sort of stacks. I mean, it's more like a passive thing than an active thing.
Yeah.
Every keystone in the game. So you need to do something to get something with every keystone. So I'm guessing to complete the cycle here, the engine, you need to use abilities for your keystone to proc and generate stacks. And then what this does is that now you've depleted all your power, and normally you feel helpless. Like, okay, I use all my power, now I'm useless. What? I paid $20 for this class. Give me my money back. So they thought about this and they said, okay, instead of having people review bombing the class and asking for the money back, let's give them power. Like let's buff them when they actually spend their power.
Yeah.
Then obviously,
so like you'll trigger more effects on. Yeah, but you trigger more effects on the old when you have higher. Because this one we know that this is like you have higher. If you have higher charges, if you have the higher base charges, you have 2 or more, you're going to get bonus effects. And then the capacitance, the which I think this is what this is the capacitance, right? It's basically more duration. Like each of these is going to extend your duration. Perhaps there's some other interaction where like, hey, if you have above this much capacitance, or for every second that you like, for if it was the electrical storm or something, if every second that you channel this ability, it gains this much power. So then you're encouraged implicitly to channel for longer and to have like the capacitance makes that easier to do. I don't necessarily know about like the way that it works with the keystones. I'm not necessarily sold on that because I think that we have one keystone. We have the keystones here. We have Dissector, which I think we agree exactly where these are.
Yeah.
Dissector is this one, right? Because this is going to
Yes.
be, it's pretty close to what we got up here with our hacking style thing.
Yeah.
Down
It's
here,
transonic.
Power Transonica is right. Power generation, and then like defense or like electricity stuff over here. So overload, and then this is the
Yeah.
power generation. So I think that like this one or this keystone down here is going to be power generation. That
Yeah.
one will be the one that will be able to build back up your capacitance. These ones, this one's going to augment your physical like damage because the one
Yeah.
where it's like, okay, I don't really care about my power so much. I don't want to take any power nodes. I just want to shoot dudes in the head real hard. This one is going to be like critical stuff. And Dissector, it's going to be like, okay, you get this much bonus on dudes who are unaware or whatever. This one to me is Overload. It's going to be all about like electricity damage first of all, but then I don't know what else like that's going to be related to. Maybe there is something here where it can turbocharge other abilities, where it can push them further. And then this one is just going to be, this is going to be your cooldown, because it seems like traditionally there's at least one keystone that offers some cooldown to your abilities. So that'll be that. I think that's a pretty good guess. Pretty good summary. Okay. So there we go. That's that all wrapped up. That took only roughly an hour, but hey, people love it. So let's just talk about some weapons. So we got some weapons to look over here. Just some brief thoughts on how you think these things are going to work. Obviously, the ones that we have seen in actual gameplay. We have seen the the galvanic rifle. We've seen the arc rifle. We've seen the arc maul at this point. But I don't think, I think they're hiding some stuff.
Yeah. One thing I noticed about the arc maul is that when it was, and no one mentioned it, when it's activated, it performs sweeping strikes, and as soon as it gets deactivated, the attacks are a
No
bit more
cleave, right?
vertical.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing I noticed. And then I kinda have to say this. I really hope the arc rifle does more than what they showed us, because I was a little bit disappointed
Yeah,
there.
that was like nothing. Like it was just like,
Yeah.
okay, this is just a gun but with lightning. Do you think, I believe this can charge? Do you believe this the gun can charge up like and do bigger zaps? I have to believe that.
I actually want it to be something like a surge staff,
Yeah,
um,
yeah. Exactly.
but mechanical.
Yeah, I
I
have
want
to
it to be
believe that given that it has a capacitor, which to me, like capacitors are about like storing charge and then draining charge. I think that there's going to be a sort of like a plasma rifle mechanic here, where it's like it'll leap to more enemies, it'll arc between more enemies if you charge it for longer. And then maybe after you tap them once, because they talked about that arc ability, where it's like once enemies are primed with arc, then it jumps to them from there on.
Mhm.
So I think that maybe like the charged attack can like hit multiple enemies, and then
Yeah.
it's gonna then every subsequent attack will hit all those enemies. And people were pointing out, like you said, with the arc maul here, this thing is when it's powered up, it has the sweeping strikes and it's cleaving through enemies, and then as soon as it powers down, it like just starts thudding off of them and can barely do anything. Do you think this is a power sword like weapon, where like the current veteran power sword, where it only has like a certain number of hits, or do you think it's got a certain, like a relic blade, like it's got a certain battery where it overloads or drains down, or
Um,
how would you guess?
I would like it to be a little bit more towards the relic blade side, but not exactly a relic blade. I would like it to be like it charges when you hit stuff, maybe, and
Yeah.
then something like that. I don't know what they're gonna do with it.
Someone pointed out as well. I think I saw in my comments. Someone pointed out that this weapon, because it's also arc, they were seeing when it was hitting in power mode, when it was hitting the little dudes in the front, it was actually shocking guys in the back. There was people in the back who were getting like just certain specific guys, so that maybe they'd gotten hit previously, and it was jumping to them because they were already primed.
Yeah, I actually
So
think
some
they're
of
gonna
that.
play a lot with electrocution status,
That's
electrocuted
good. I mean,
status.
we've got like
We need it.
certain
Yeah.
we've gotten certain stuff with around electrocution in the game with the RBDs, and there's a couple other weapons that work with it.
Yeah, we actually need more playstyles. We have the burn effect is saturated. We have so many classes doing burn. We have so
Yeah,
many classes doing bleed. So we need to add more stuff. Like
but
we actually
but
need to do
not
something
not
with
more
Stagger.
diverse like damage over time. We can just well, we can expand on the ones we've got, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
make it, and that
Yeah,
will
we have.
be hopefully an indirect buff to RBDs because like he'll have good synergy with this class.
Yeah, I think the way these weapons are gonna work, and the talent tree is gonna help you also achieve this goal. Is that uh, the first attacks are gonna apply the electrocuted
Hmm.
effect, and after that you're gonna get a damage multiplier or the arc jumps between enemies. And you can do it by default by using a weapon, but it's gonna take more shots to electrocute more enemies and then have the
Yeah.
um, the lightning jump from target to target. Or you can spec into it and use some talents and make it spread faster
What do you
and
think
make
the
it more like a.
chances are of like the Arc Maul using your class capacitance, like to stay powered up? What do you think the chances are that like this actually? I think that it might be
Honestly,
too much. But like that would be pretty cool if like your capacitance tells you how long your weapon can stay powered.
I don't even know if there is a built-in system for that. I think it's very slim chances this is gonna happen, but I don't know.
Okay.
Let's see.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that like I think you're probably right about this weapon though. Like, just that it's like you're spreading around like kind of the arc debuff, and then maybe you go into the empowered mode there, and then that's when it starts to multiply the damage to everybody else that's already been hit. Uh, I'm guessing that because these are all like battery type weapons, that they like will start instead of because we've already got the relic blade that goes from like 0 to 100 heat and somehow has infinite energy, and then we've got like a power sword that activates for just a couple of swings. I think most people find that really annoying, so I doubt they would do that. Even though it does cut off in the middle of the gameplay for that, I think that there is a certain amount of charge that effectively translates to like this many hits, this many zaps, but it's not gonna be nearly so like, oh my god, you need to activate it like every 2 swings like it is with the power sword, because I think most people just cannot with that, even though it's really powerful. Okay, so and then galvanic rifle. Any special things about that? I think it's just going to be like a solid range weapon.
Yeah,
I don't necessarily know if there's anything. People
yeah.
want this enough already just based on the looks without necessarily needing to do anything special. Phosphor pistol, I think, is pretty straight up and down. Just like it's going to burn the targets it hits. Perhaps it will direct servo drones to attack that target, like
Hmm.
prioritize them, because they do say
I,
over and over about that stuff.
Honestly, if I could change something about the dot effects, I wouldn't make phosphor pistol to apply burn stacks. I would make it apply. I would rename the Soul Blaze. Soul Blaze should no longer be exclusive to Psyker. It should be
Hmm.
changed to something more generic, like a Blaze. And then Phosphor Pistol and Soul Blaze should be in the same family of dot. And then we can have a couple of dots. Like every dot should be shared between classes. So you have to think strategically what kind of dots you bring.
Yeah,
And I thought like if later on we added a rad weapon, the rad weapon could do toxin damage. So you have
yeah,
rad weapons
yeah.
applying
Going into
toxin and
that.
high scam weapons applying toxin, and then you could have a
A
phosphor pistol.
synergy, yeah, because there's a synergy with electric with RBs because he's got the most electric stuff
Yeah. So the
elsewhere. There's plenty of
phosphor
classes that do
and the
bleeds.
Yeah, so the phosphor and the flame stuff would be kind of mutually exclusive,
Yeah,
which kind of works also in the way of sabotaging the Inferno Psychers a little bit.
I don't know because you're giving them another thing to to get procs of like, oh, this enemy died while they had blaze on them. Now I'm more powerful.
Yeah, but you can it works the other way around as well. You can shoot things first with your phosphor pistol, and then the from a longer range, and then the Psyker comes and flames everything, and basically reinforces your own stacks
That's
because you
true.
were the
That's
first
true.
to apply the stack.
So my thought is like, I don't know. There's not very many things in the game that actually do cause fire. There's Recon Las Gun. There's the Rumbler, or like just the Ogryn's point blank barrage, uh, flamethrower. Like, just that's it, right? That's all the flame thing. So I think that's probably why they went with fire for this, other than it's just obviously like it's white phosphorus, so it's going to burn. There's also not like any talents anywhere that I can think of that incentivize like actual burn stuff. So maybe there'll be something unique with burns here, TBD. Okay, and then our final two weapons that I think are of any interest. Any ideas on how this is one I literally haven't thought about at all? How's the power sword going to be different than the existing power sword?
No idea. Like how the second power sword were different from the
Yeah, the
first
power
one.
falchion is just the relic blade again.
Yeah.
I think maybe just like inverting some of the mechanics, kind of like with the arc maul, where I think it's going to have a battery and you're going to be able to keep it powered for a while, and then it's going to like power down and you'll have to charge it back up. Versus the inverse. That could be it. And then transonic blade. What's that going to
Yeah,
do?
I think we agree on that. I think you're gonna have to hit an enemy to attune it, to tune it to their armor type, and
Mm-hmm.
then be able to slash through easier. And maybe if you're using the correct abilities and keystones, you're gonna be able to do it faster, or the correct talents, you're gonna be able to do that faster. But by default, there's gonna be some kind of build-up before you build melee rending, specifically melee
Yeah,
rending.
yeah. There's like because I saw they posted one of these to the it's in the event thing, and it talks about how like when they're activated they then learn, like the machine spirit like learns. So I think you'll have to, I think this is going to have a battery just like these do, where it's activated for a certain period of time, and the first target you hit within that period of time it then attunes to them. So you'll have like 10 seconds where you're primed for carapace killing or whatever, but it won't last forever, right? And it's definitely not going to be as OP as like Uncanny Strike, where it's just anytime you hit an enemy, it's like, oh, automatically, like, we're just doing infinite true damage to you. That seems silly.
Fun fact: there are standalone versions of Transonic Blade and Transonic Razor in the game files
Mm-hmm.
with a placeholder for a mastery.
Oh, that's cool.
So
So they each have their own mastery?
maybe
Maybe you can split?
um, there are three versions. The one version is the dual wield that we're getting right now,
Mm.
and then there are two versions that we might be getting down the road
Wow.
sometime in the future that are standalone versions, but they
Don't
have a
quote on
fully
this
fledged.
on that, guys. They like to put stuff in there and then not. Yeah, sometimes like it
Really?
gets cut out. Yeah, I mean, there's been
But
a
you know that.
history of data mined weapons that never made it. Like everybody knows
Yeah,
about
but
like.
but it has a mastery, and
Ooh,
masteries came to the game much later.
that
It
is
wasn't a
true.
thing in.
That is
So
true.
why would they make a mastery for that? And
That's
there's
true. That is very true.
there's also a transonic claw instead of core claw. They call it transonic claw with a mastery as well. And
But that's
I'm kind
different.
of planning. Maybe it will also come as a standalone weapon at some point.
That could be
And
interesting.
I'm planning to make a video on that. And
Yeah, if that
I'm
has a
gonna
mastery, like that has to be its own weapon in some right. The only reason I
yeah.
say that is because, like, we know that there's, and I don't have any evidence that this ever happened with weapons or anything. But like, for instance, the Arbites has cosmetics. Like, there actually are DLC cosmetics. There's a whole recolor of
Mhm.
the kit you can buy in the store, but that was never released. So I think that there are times where they make stuff and then they get the no, that this is not going to be the ultimate final form. But going all the way as far as to make the masteries for it and put it that close to
Yeah.
being implemented in the system, that would be really cool. So maybe that will
Well,
come out on release, but maybe that's like for down the line. That's pretty awesome.
if you're interested, there's actually a long list of weapons that are not in the game yet, and they've been added quite recently. And
And
I
you're
would
gonna make a
like to
video on
do
that.
that. Yeah, we could do a collab on that
I
because
think, I
you're.
mean, or you could do a collab on it. You could do it on your channel. I mean, people need to go over there anyway. Oh, this reminds me. I almost forgot to say the thing that made me think of this earlier, because we were talking about this, like replacing this being like a special, the cord claw being special to this infiltrator up here, and I remembered from like forever ago. Where is it? They say, oh wait, did they change it? Where's the one that says taser goads? You know what I'm talking about? Wait, we're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
did they change
yeah.
it
They
in the
used to
store
say.
page?
Really?
Because this is the store page. I
Uh,
literally just screenshotted this. Wasn't it in the? It wasn't in
it
this.
was. It was.
Okay, so hold on.
I
Let's
swear I
revert.
have this version.
Let's revert this one because I have it on this page right here. Control Z. So here's the original leak document. electric batons was there. But I swear I saw one with taser goads, didn't you?
Yeah, I
What
swear I saw it.
was that on this leak thing? Because
It
I
was
remember
on
you commenting it
the
on your video and showing it. Did you see what I was talking about there? Where you were like, I think that's a taser goat in his screen. I'm like, that's just a long line of text, my man.
yeah, yeah. And
That's just a big long word.
yeah, and I was like, maybe he's right.
It's just like, yeah. So maybe that got cut. Maybe they actually changed that. Maybe that was because the clearly the data mine's different than what's right there. So I think maybe that was like something they were looking at, and they ended up going with the arc mall because it didn't say.
Bro, I have the picture. Wait, I'm gonna
Yeah,
send it.
this is current. Like this is the current store page.
I got this one. Let me check. I got this one when?
Yeah, electrified goads. There it is. So they've changed it. So that's cut. Okay. Yeah. All right. So that's cut content. They've since changed it. So this is an old one. The people on the stream or the video can see. It includes legendary
That
arc
was
weapons, electrified goads. When was this?
26th of May. I got this
Okay.
picture.
Yeah. So that's something that they were probably working on. But then you can see it goes straight from arc weapons to phosphor blasters here. So that was maybe. I was thinking maybe since we had like this claw for this one, that this one, when you activate the storm, you can actually draw a taser goad. Like you've got a fold out taser goad that you can use, that you get an extra electric weapon in your arsenal. That'd be pretty sick.
Nice.
But
yeah,
but if it's been cut from the store page, we're not getting it. Dang. that is funny. I was like, what is that? It's so weird. It's there and it's not one of the weapons. But yeah. But at least we got the hidden secret fork that's in there. All right. Well,
but
I mean,
there is a power mall.
P3, yeah.
For P4. There is a P4.
Oh, okay, so it's not this one.
So the P3 is this one, and then there is a P4. I don't know what the P4 is.
Okay, was that just been added? That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was added recently.
Okay, well, then maybe there's hope. Maybe there's hope, or maybe they'll give my Ogren some more love. I could take it either way, honestly. Another power mall for Ogren. Yes, please.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, that's a. Hopefully that was enough talking for you guys. I feel like, I mean, you should be tanked up for at least until Skitarii tomorrow. And yeah, so just as a brief review, I think we're in kind of some pretty good agreements that we've got a melee-focused assassin style up here. You're going to have the Cord Claw in some regard. You've got a drone that can hack enemies as one of your archetypes or one of your blitz abilities. Down here, we've got our sniper long-range shooty boy with shooty drone. This is the least inspiring and interesting one to me. I don't know if it is to you. Like, there must be something they're hiding behind this that's going to be kind of cool. And then over here is our electric storm, build up your charge, potentially blow it out on enemies, and then a support drone. This is our tanky boy. As I've been saying from the beginning, they got to add a tank archetype because people were really mad. They were terrible at Hive Scum and got destroyed. So they need a tank archetype that people can go so they don't just like drop that instantly. So yeah, I mean, I had a ton of fun doing this. We probably went a little bit long, but that's okay. It
was really fun, actually.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for joining me. We'll definitely do this again. With
Thank you very much.
Something else, guys. Go sub to Yobi Ryan over on his channel. I'll link it down below. He needs to be at least 5K subs for some arbitrary reason. I don't know. There's just some arbitrary number. And yeah, give his content a watch. He's promised me he's gonna make 3 videos a week from now on, right? That's gonna be the goal.
I don't know, since I promised, I have to now.
At least halfway between, like, you know, the 1 per 10 days you've been doing and the mystery, like 1.5 per day sort of standard. Listen, you do too few videos, you piss me off. You do too many, you piss off, like, you know, people on Reddit or whatever. So you can't win. But it's been a ton of fun, and I'm so glad to have other people out here who are nerding out about Darktide like this.
Maybe I can start copying your homework now to make more videos.
It's just going to become an Ouroboros where you're just like reacting. I mean, literally, like, yeah, go pull up my stream and react live to my reaction of your video live, where I was then playing the fork video in the middle of it. So yeah, that'll be good. And remember, guys, yeah, we are naming our Skitarii fork. Do not forget, okay? We must become the Adeptus Forcanicus. And
Volcanicus.
yeah, Adeptus Volcanicus is the Legion. I wish there was like clan tags, like in like in Call of Duty. We could have. They should add, man. Okay, that's the goal, guys. Okay, we're gonna pressure them. We're gonna name ourselves Fork so much that they add a title to the game that's called Adeptus Volcanicus. They'll just have to. They'll just have
That's
to
crazy.
give over to it. All right, that's enough memeing around. Thanks for joining me, Yobi. Thanks for watching, guys. And Mystery out of here.
Thank you.
Bye bye.